and welcome back to Hindustan Astrology. So in today's video I want to talk about Jupiter going into Capricorn. Now this is the sidereal zodiac that I'm using, and so this takes place on March 30th, 2020. Now on this day when Jupiter enters Capricorn, he will conjunct Saturn, Pluto, and Mars at the same time. This is this is going to be a long cycle that he'll be in Capricorn, but on this day it's going to be particularly volatile, especially to governments and especially the political drama that's going on. We're going to see perhaps some anger, flare-ups, and I imagine the stock market is going to be pretty volatile as well, having Mars there. So let's go through the 12 signs, having Jupiter now in Capricorn. So this is his sign of debilitation, meaning that he cannot do his job as well in Capricorn. Meaning that his opposite sign of Cancer is where he's exalted. So Jupiter is what? He's the Karaka, or the indicator of children. And so in Cancer, that's the sign of the mother. So you can see how Jupiter would function very well here. And this is also the guru. And what is mother? Mother is our first teacher. So this shows the intimate connection between the moon and Jupiter. They are in the same planetary camp, and they are considered the devas, or the angels, and they get along really well. So in the opposite sign of Capricorn, which is an earth sign ruled by Saturn, which is Jupiter's enemy, he cannot do his job as well. And Jupiter, wherever he sits, he expands things. So Saturn wants to contract everything, and Jupiter wants to expand everything. So when they come together, it's a point of manifestation, it's growth, and it's change. So right now Saturn is in Capricorn, so he's going to be entering and conjuncting it. So through the 12 signs we have Jupiter in Capricorn. Now if your ascendant or lagna or moon is in Capricorn, that means Jupiter will now be in your first house. He has Digbala, or directional strength, in the first house. So that does help. And anytime Jupiter is in the first house in any of the charts, it is a sign of good luck and fortune. Now, Jupiter in the first house can, because it is your physical appearance, he can expand your waistline. So be careful of putting on weight at this time. Having it in Capricorn, I think, will mitigate some of that negative effect. But, you know, also the opposite aspect is very important, especially for Jupiter, the 7th aspect, and that's the house of partnership, the 7th house. So for a woman, you know, perhaps you may have a hard time finding a mate, or your mate is withheld for you, or there's a problem with that. Or there could be something karmic. Look to your chart to see what planets, if you have any, are in the 1st or the 7th houses. So if your if your lagna or moon are in Sagittarius, this puts Jupiter in your 2nd house. 2nd house is what? The house of money. But in Capricorn, you know, you may lose money. Be careful of gambling at this time. Also, it's your immediate family. It's your blood relatives. Jupiter is the spouse, but he can also indicate men in your life. You know, just be careful of accidents, especially. But also, you know, anything that has to do with children in the home. You know, just be mindful of your surroundings at this time. Now, if your ascendant, lagna, or moon are in Scorpio, this puts Jupiter in Capricorn in the 3rd house. 3rd house is what? Siblings, media, communications, and it's opposite the 9th. So there could be some education, maybe even education of children. There's going to be an increase in learning because, Jupiter's guru, and it's media communication, writing. You could be doing some kind of scholarly writing at this time. If your ascendant is Scorpio, or your moon. And also, Jupiter rules some of the things that money can buy, and he is the indicator of millionaires. So you could even get some kind of opportunity, luck opportunity, from a sibling at this time. So paying attention to sudden opportunities at this time. Now in Capricorn, it is going to mitigate some of that, but I do feel that having Mars there temporarily is going to give a boost. So just pay attention to opportunities. Now if your ascendant or moon is in Libra, this puts Jupiter in the fourth. Jupiter, fourth house is the mother, but it's also the home, and Jupiter there indicates a large home, but also it could be, your spouse if you're a woman, your spouse helps you with a large home. Real estate is fourth house. Why? Because, there's territories involved, and so Mars is involved as well. You could get a sudden boon with the stock market at this time, so pay attention to that. But also long-term investments for Libra are good because it's in Capricorn, Saturn, slow, delay. Be careful of risky gambling at this time. If your ascendant is Virgo, this puts Jupiter in the fifth. Now, what's the fifth house? It's the house of children. Jupiter is the karaka, or indicator of children. So if you are not preparing for children at this time, Virgo, be careful, because you could definitely have a surprise. Now, education is also involved here. You could be in school, or you could be teaching. As a teacher, I find this is more indicative, fifth house. And then opposite that is the 11th house, which is, elder siblings. You could have some kind of connection with elder siblings at this time. If your ascendant or moon is in Leo, this puts Jupiter in your sixth house. Where Jupiter sits, he helps things. In Capricorn, he can't help as much, but it is in your sixth house of health and service. So you could be, somebody that's getting down to the root cause of a disease at this time. Putting in the service, putting in the hands-on work into things. And it's opposite the 12th house, which indicates hospitals. So you could be a teacher at a hospital, or even, a spiritual place like a church or a monastery or an ashram or something like that. That could be a part of your service at this time. Now, Capricorn, because it is, he's debilitated here, it's like I see you planting seeds that are going to take a while to grow. But that's okay. Slow is better, right? If your ascendant or moon is in Cancer, then this puts Jupiter into your 7th house. Now, this could bring you, especially, because we have Saturn and Pluto and Mars all there, there is a very much a karmic indicator of meeting partners from past lives. And not just, romantic, but business as well. people that you are definitely here and you have a purpose with. So this, even though he's debilitated in Capricorn, this could be something that's really good for you. Now, if your ascendant or moon is in Gemini, this puts Jupiter into the 8th house. 8th house is very dark and it's transformation, and Jupiter is guru. So you could have a spiritual teacher come to you at this time. It's a moksha house. So pay attention to the gurus that come to you at this time. Also, it's the house of inheritance. You could get a big inheritance at this time, Gemini. It's opposite the 2nd house, which is money, so that's good. Could be delayed because it's in Capricorn, so just pay attention. But he's still there, so I think that it's going to come through. If your ascendant or moon is in Taurus, this puts Jupiter into the 9th, and that's his house. That's the Sagittarius house, and that's Jupiter's sign. So definitely going back to school, definitely meeting teachers, becoming a teacher, being involved in higher education. Opposite the 3rd house, writing could be involved, computers, any kind of communication could be involved for you, Taurus. If your ascendant or moon is in Aries, this puts Jupiter into the 10th. 10th house is career, but it's not just what you do. 6th house is kind of more hands-on what you do. 10th house is the recognition you get in your career. So Jupiter in the 10th is going to give you, where he sits, he brings good things. He's the Great Benefic, so he'll bring good things to you. He will bring teachers and gurus to you in your career. So that's really good, Aries. I feel like that's something you've been asking for. In Capricorn, he's going to, possibly delay that, but who he brings to you will be mature and they will be elders. So if your ascendant or moon is in, what did we just do? We just did Aries. So that would be Pisces, and that would be the 11th house. And 11th house is what? Great gains. It's elder siblings. It's the community. It's the relationships you form with a whole group of people. And having Jupiter there, he's going to bring spiritual teachers to you through a community, Pisces. And being in Capricorn, they will definitely be elders. And the house that's opposite this is the 5th house of education. So you could also be involved in some kind of educational community at this time. That brings you a lot of spiritual nourishment. And then that brings us back to having the ascendant or moon in Aquarius. So this means that Jupiter is going to be moving into your 12th house. Now the 12th house, they say you can make it a prison, a hospital, or a temple. It's up to you. So having the guru there is going to want you to make it a temple. And in Capricorn, which is Saturn's sign, this is going to be about traditions, possibly even past life memories of being involved in patriarchal religions, and the impact upon your family and your DNA. And I feel like for Aquarius, this, because it's going to be opposite your 6th house, you could be of service at this time to others, helping them with healing and growth, possibly energy work, Reiki, hands-on, massage therapy, any kind of working with clearings, vibrational tuning, mantras, that kind of thing, even music therapy. And so for Aquarius, I feel like having Jupiter there is going to really bring you some new gurus, but also help you to become a teacher at this time. So I hope this helps everybody. Jupiter in Capricorn coming up. Now he will be going retrograde in, I think it's June, going back into Sag, and then when he goes direct again in July, he'll be moving into Capricorn again in August. So this is kind of a little tap dance they're doing, you know, with this retrograde this summer, Saturn as well. But, you know, it's all good, and I hope this helps everyone. So thank you. Namaste.